Hey, you're alive. When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, a phone, maybe. I hope you don't mind. But all I found was some loose change. So, wanna tell me who you are? Well, it's nice to meet you. And I'm sorry to pry, but any idea why you were floating down the river? What's the last thing you remember? Oh, you're an archaeologist? Then you'll definitely want to hear this. I don't know if it's exactly what you're looking for, but there are some ruins just behind you. Roman, I think. I need you to go in there and see if you can find a guy named Al for me. He went in there a few hours ago, and he hasn't come out. I've been freaking out, wondering if he's trapped or injured or worse. I would have gone in after him, but he made me promise to stay here, no matter what. There's no way I'm leaving without him, so I'm just kind of stuck here, waiting. What I mean is, I was hoping you wouldn't mind going in there to find him? If you can do that, I can get both of you back to civilization in my boat. Please? Oh, of course. Sorry, I don't mean to be pushy. What do you want to know? You really don't remember? We're in Italy. This river is the Tiber. Oh, there's not much to tell. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Know what I mean? Oh, I'd rather not say if it's all the same to you. All right, fine. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen. Look, if you really want to know all the tragic details, perhaps I can fill you in after you find Al? He's the guy who washed up on the riverbank not long before you did. I thought maybe you two knew each other. I guess not. But maybe the two of you can piece together what you're doing here. In any case, you'll like him, I'm sure. Once you find him, that is. Not much, really. But imagine what you might find in there. Priceless ancient artifacts. Al... What am I, an idiot? You could hike a long, long way in any direction and never find another soul. Trust me. Great. So you're ready to go look for Al? My hero. The entrance is just past those columns behind you. Oh, and he left this here. But I think you'll need it more than I will.
If you're reading this, it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city hidden deep underground. Its existence is long forgotten, all knowledge of it lost, except in the Latin inscription here. It reads, "You who wish to enter the city, step forth and be judged. The virtuous shall be rewarded with eternal life in paradise. The wicked shall find themselves showered in gold, but in vain, for this shall be their final resting place." Could an underground city have remained a secret for all this time? Could people have survived down there, against the odds? It seems there's only one way to find out. If I'm not back in an hour, I'm somewhere on the other side. Consider this an invitation. Or a warning. Al Worth. To whoever reads this, I'm sorry you had to find me like this. And worse, that you'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back. And here there are only two options: death, and that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right. And I tried. I really tried. Whatever I did, it took me right back to the beginning. Don't make the same mistake. Better to end it all now and find out what awaits you beyond that portal.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina? What? I'm speaking Latin. You are too, although your accent's a little strange. Oh, I see what you did there. Changing the subject like that. Nice try. But I'll ask again. Who are you, and what were you doing in the shrine? No idea what you're talking about. Oh, wait. Are you a bit, not right in the head? That's all right, friend. Everyone's welcome here. We sort of lose track of the date down here, but it feels like the beginning of spring to me, so I'd say early March? It's 817 AUC. Sorry, you look confused. 817 years since the founding of Rome. Which part of the Empire are you from, exactly? CE? No idea what you're talking about. But listen, most folks seem a bit confused when they get here, but you seem very lost, and in more ways than one. So let me make this nice and simple for you. Live by our law here, and we'll all get along just fine. Not laws, law. There's just one, the golden rule, and the punishment for breaking it's kind of horrific. But our magistrate insists we take all newcomers to see him, so I guess I'll let him fill you in. So then, you coming? Follow me! When I first arrived, I couldn't believe there were people living down here. But, as you can see, we've got a nice little community now. Only 23 of us at the moment, if you count the 3 who are missing. No idea how, since nobody knows a way out. But it's just big and dark enough to get lost in, if you're not careful.
Aren't you going to introduce me to your handsome new friend, Galerius?
Keep it in your loincloth, Aurelia. I'm taking him to see the magistrate.
That pompous old bore won't be magistrate for much longer. Anyone who helps vote him out today drinks at my bar for free tonight.
Politics. I'd stay clear of it and her, if I were you. She's, it's not my place to say. Down on your right is our farm, where I grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you want is leek, cabbage, and wheat. Huh. That one usually gets a chuckle.
The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone.
Don't mind Livia. She means well. She's just been in a bad place since... Well, I don't know what happened to her. Up here on your right is the chasm. If you've got a weapon, it belongs way down at the bottom. Up on your left is the forum, where you can visit the market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the Shrine of Apollo. Most of us have almost nothing, just what we had on us when we arrived, and what we've been able to make and scrounge up since. And this central plateau is where the magistrate and the other patricians live, so don't expect a warm welcome.
Galerius, you're meant to be working the farm, not trudging dirt into the villas.
Take it easy, Horatius. I was just taking our new friend here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to escort the newcomer personally. The farm. Go. Now.
You'd better go with him. But just remember, they're not like you and me. Don't let them use you.
What was that? What did you just say?
I said it'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, I'm watching you, farm boy. Greetings, citizen. My name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentius asked me to escort you to him personally. Follow me, please. Follow me. The only thing you really need to understand right now is the golden rule. Let me see if I can explain it this way. When I was serving in the Legion, if there was a mutiny brewing in one cohort, the legate in charge wouldn't waste time finding the bad apples among hundreds. They just divided us into groups of 10, made us draw straws, and whoever drew the short straw had to be executed by the other 9. Didn't matter whether he'd done anything wrong. One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the collective. We call it decimation. If If that seems like rough justice to you, you're in for a rude shock. Because the Golden Rule is exactly 10 times worse. The magistrate can explain the rest. He's up these stairs.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name? A curious name, to match a curious accent. But I digress. I see you have the piercing and astute eyes of a man of great learning. We're always happy to welcome another scholar to our little community. Equitia will be delighted to meet you, I'm sure. Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place, would you? A secret city built deep in the mountains, many hundreds of years ago. In good time. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last 7 months. 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates, living and working together in our own little paradise. And in all that time, not a single sin has been committed. No fights, no theft, nothing. Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary as a city without sin? Nor could I until I came here. But the reason for this miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." From what we can gather, breaking the law here will anger the gods and provoke a terrible punishment, like the curses of Medusa and Midas combined, turning us all to gold. We've come to call it the Golden Rule. It's extraordinary that we've survived as long as we have, and each day I grow more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. And now it seems that day is finally here. All that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the Golden Rule. Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless you and I can stop them, our doom is assured. I know that's a lot to take in, and you look like you have questions. Please, ask away. An intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes or to some other ill-defined wrong? Of course, everyone agrees on the basics. No theft, no assault, and certainly no murder. But beyond that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy, trespass, trying to escape, bribery, infidelity, suicide? As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the Empire to a standard never before seen. And we must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that we may prosper, as Rome has for centuries. I'm glad you agree. The key things to remember are that we have laws forbidding treason and blasphemy, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arson and so on. I have made my pronouncement on the subject. Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist. whispering blasphemous and treasonous lies in the shadows. I would be keeping a close eye on them if I were you. You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual to Proserpina, the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. It's said to open a doorway in time, so that if the unthinkable happens, one person can pass through it and travel back to the past. And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that person was you. You don't belong in our time, do you? 2,000 years? That is unfathomable. Please tell me, in your time, what did you see? What had become of us, of this city? I have imagined it, our downfall, 1,000 times, but it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it. All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina. I stumbled across instructions. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, some sacrifice is involved. Usually that means wine or food, or in some cases a live animal. In this case, the sacrifice is rather more costly. The life of the person performing the ritual. I don't suppose you saw any sign of me in the future? I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. You'll try to make sure I don't need to use it, won't you? Well, I suppose that's all I can ask for. All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice. I have to Well, I believe you're in the best position to go around asking people questions. You're new. As for me, well, it pains me to say my attempts to impose order have not earned me many friends. I fear I may not even... The people here would only treat my curiosity with suspicion. You shouldn't have that problem, though. Do you ever stare at a problem for so long that you can't see it? What's needed here is a fresh pair of eyes. Well, all right. There are those who wish to vote me out of office. Frankly, their selfishness and recklessness risk destabilizing the entire city. If I understand Proserpina's ritual correctly, that problem should take care of itself. If you manage to prevent the sin that breaks the Golden Rule, I won't need to bring you here. I won't create the portal, thus you'll have created a paradox. If this occurs, you should be flung back. Good. So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's Wonderful. Now, I need you to... I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you figure out who the culprit is and... Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia at the shrine. I heard wailing from there not long ago.
Fear is proof of a degenerate.
Hey, Horatius. How's it feel knowing your man's doomed?
Isn't the great temple majestic?
Give me a moment. Sorry I'm such a mess. I just lost a patient and a dear friend. She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her, and I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. That'll be 1,000 denarii. There was no way I could afford that. Then that toad shrugs and says, supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly. Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall. But there's no way I can do that down here with the cook. So all I could do is come back here, and now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule, or why she... Well, unless you have the power to bring someone, get me that silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from Well, come back if you get sick or injured.
Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little Terrible shame what happened to Yulia. Certainly, all I ask is... That's hardly my concern. But if you get a job, work hard and save your coins, you should be able to afford... Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it. Hear what? You sure you're feeling all right? If you're hearing things, perhaps you should pay a visit to Lucretia's clinic. We don't want another name. She claimed the statues were whispering to her. Nobody else could hear it. Then she shut herself in the palace and we never... But I digress. Do you want this silphium or not? Well, if you did that, you'd break the golden rule and we'd share the same... We agree on something. Very well. Perhaps I can interest you in something within your budget? You mean, how did I end up here? That is a lengthy tale. All right. Well, you see, I'm in the business of procuring mostly sculptures, vases, the occasional slave. Had myself a nice little shop in Rome, just off the Forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to... See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get to an outer gate was running for the river, open to escape by... So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl all the way down to the river. I'm elbowing for a stampede of people turning back, but to my surprise, we make it. And I see this barge loading up, and it's so full it's almost... But the captain's happy to take my coins. So I start boarding, and then he puts his hand... No, too heavy. The cart or the girl. So... Of course I chose the car. I mean, I can always buy a new slave girl if I... So I put my hand on the car, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black eyes of hers go all wide. And in one swift motion, she topples the whole bloody thing in at the top. Naturally, I dived in after it, hoping to salvage my fort. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something, because when I came to, I'd washed up on the riverbank not far from here, with nothing in the world but a single... I couldn't agree more. I mean, sure, I'd lost a few thousand denarii, but I've already made it back, and this place is... Look around you, there must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I can... I'm afraid not. If you're desperate, I did hear that Aurelia down at the tavern claims to know of all... Some people here are a little shady for my... It's terrible for inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying around, it's practically worthless. At least down here. I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to find one, bring it to me and we'll talk. Oh, well, technically yes, but that just... Thank you, friend. Malleolus. I mean, Sentius couldn't even keep his daughter safe. What hope does he have of protecting... No. Very well.
many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Death must either love.
Salve, friend. Oh, and since you seem to be... Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works. And if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen is you'll take a swim. But don't worry, it's... All right.
What are you doing in here? Can't you see this? She needs the resin of a plant called... What? Quick, give it here. Yulia. Hopefully in a moment she should be able to breathe. That was extraordinary. How did you know she needed this exact thing? Look, if you don't want to tell me, I won't. That was like the gods here. You just saved a person's life, and you should be proud of yourself. And maybe she can tell us who poisoned her, and who she... In the meantime, I'm happy to help you. I'm Lucretia, and I'm going to be straight with you. I'm not a physician. This is Nevia's clinic. I'm tired and out of my depth and miserable all the time, but I'd rather take this on myself. My husband and I moved to Rome from Caesarea. He embraced the Roman. I would have divorced him and demanded the return of my dowry, but I knew he would sooner have me killed than give me my right. So I waited for the right time to take what was mine and disappear. As he prepared to evacuate our villa, I gathered our most precious belongings, coins and gemstones, and the moment his back was turned, I could barely see for the smoke. And the streets were full of people trampling each other. The next thing I remember, I was waking up on a river. It's all right. Say what you will about this place. At least my fornicating husband. And while there's no shortage of snakes here, at least with the gold. Oh, this shrine was in use as a clinic long before. Kind of strange to set up a clinic in the temple of... But the god who inflicts a curse is also the only god who can undo it. So, I suppose praying to... Well, she used to run the clinic. She was a midwife, not a physician, but she was the... Until she suddenly lost all interest in us. One day she told me she'd made some profound discovery. This changes everything, she kept saying. But the last time I saw her, the last time any of us saw her, she was muttering to us. And then she shut herself in the palace, barred the door from the inside. And nobody's seen her. She's been gone so long now, we figure she's either dead or up to something so strange that she doesn't want anyone else. But I really wish I could reach her, because that's the only hope I have of solving a troubling problem. One of my patients is suffering from terrible rheumatism. I really shouldn't say. He wouldn't like it. He's become so irritable that the smallest things set him off. And I worry he'll end up losing his temper. I just know Nevia would know how to treat him, assuming she's still alive. But nobody seems to know how to. Really? That would be wonderful. Feeling all right? I wish. Some people here need proper medical care, not the half-baked hang. Just don't get sick or injured here. I'll do my... A city without sin might sound good on paper, but whoever dreamt it up didn't think it. But snakes like Decius will always find loopholes to exploit. And what? Absolutely nothing. In some ways, we are worse off because we can't take the law in... Oh no. Sorry, I don't mean to worry you, but there was one other person who claimed she could hear this, but that was Nevia, and well, she used to run the clinic until she suddenly lost. This changes everything. She kept the last time I saw, and then she shut herself in. She's been gone, but one of my I really should. He's become. I just. Really?
Help! You have to do something! You have to do something! Fabia, but now's not the time. Are you going to help? None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm. So now this man's bow is the only one in the city. You'll just have to improvise. Thank you. I have to hide. Find me in this Hear what? What? We don't have time for this. I have to go. Ugh. The shrine is collapsing!
Fabia, no! Oh God, she's dead!
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quintius Christmas, otherwise known as... I'm not sure I believe that. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist. So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But is that understood? You are not off to a good start. When I ask you I would choose my next words more... Do you have any last words? Well, I'd say that's rather convenient, since I was planning to kill you all.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Salve, friend. Oh. Yulia. I'll go...
Greetings and salutations.
How'd you do?
Help! You have... A man arrived in the baths. Real nasty sort, with it. You have to do something. Thank you. He's still in there. Somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine. What? Why? All right, fine. Come and find me in my bakery.
Stop right there. I'm looking for... Thank you. For your service to the Empire, I'll let you live for now, but you'd best make sure our paths don't cross again.
Filthy, lying degenerate.
You there? I'm sorry to trouble you, but I couldn't help but notice that fine bow. No idea how you managed to get your hands on it, especially in the light of our... And before you ask, no, I wouldn't dream of trying to buy it from you. I have no use for it, but I would like to propose a... Tell me, do you have any idea how people here end up as golden statues? And here I was thinking I was the only one to figure it out. Supposedly, 1 or 2 of those arrows is enough to turn a full-grown... Now, of course, that is a travesty. A terrible, horrible waste of human life, which has to be stopped. I can't help but think of a tale told by that Greek fella Aesop. The goose that laid the golden egg. With the ability to transmute organic matter into gold, one could create... Use your imagination. Golden animals, insects, trees and plants. The Midas touch without... And even if we were to split all those riches between the... Look, I might have skimmed over that one, but don't be so pedantic. Are you interested? Oh, I'm not suggesting we use such a bow on people. There's no profit in breaking the golden rule. Excellent. So the first question is, how do we get our hands on one of those golden bows? Now, I have a plan, but first, tell me, are you familiar? No problem. Diana is our goddess of the hunt, the moon. The one thing priests and poets agree on is that she carried with her a golden bow and a quiver. And it just so happens that there is a shrine of Diana in this very... And would you like to guess what she's holding? Precisely. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent in that temple staring at it, trying to figure out how to retrieve it without break... Oh, gods, no! If you tried that, we'd all be dead with him. No. Here's what I propose. You give your bow to me. I cover it in a thin layer of gold leaf, and we create a replica. Then you enter the shrine, extinguish the braziers, and under cover of darkness, swap out the fake for the original. It's not theft exactly, but make no mistake, this is a dangerous path, and there's no way of knowing when. But in my experience, all the best adventures begin with a risky... Now, you must... Because the gods would see you, of course, hence my... I'm more of an ideas man. Whereas you're obviously the more resourceful. When When Prometheus stole fire from the gods and became a hero to all mankind, do you think he was worried about the danger? Only because he was silly enough to get caught. So, are you in, partner? Wonderful. Now, if you'll hand over your butt, this is a quality. And here we are. Now, I've gone and unlocked the Shrine of Diana for you, so as quick as you can, head on inside. bow? Wonderful. Just go ahead and slide it under the door for me and I'll unlock it for you. A little bit slow, aren't you? Yes, I locked you in, and until you give me my bow, you're gonna stay in there, like Tantalus in Tartarus. No, technically, I never said that. I said, if we were just... It's hardly my fault if you can't tell the difference between... Oh, I do love a good loophole. Not a very effective threat, is it? See, your second problem is the golden rule. What are you gonna do? The bow, now. And don't even think about... I would reconsider my position quickly if I were you. I'm not sure if you noticed, but you're stuck in there with a hornet's nest. You know, some say it takes 27 hornets. Let's find out if they were...
My beloved Galatea, I write this so that one day, when we're finally together, you will understand what I've done and why I had to do it. The others will call me mad or a monster, but I don't care what they think. Everything I'm doing here, I'm doing for you. I'll start at the beginning. Soon after my arrival here, as I walked down a corridor lined with golden statues, I thought I heard a whisper behind me, a rasp of air, as if vocal cords of metal strained to say a word or two. I tried to dismiss the idea, tried to concentrate on my work as the city's medic, but that tortured whisper haunted me. Weeks later, in the hallway to the bathhouse, I heard it again, and found myself drawn to the statue of a Roman woman, named Stola. Her face was contorted with anguish and fear, and, disturbingly, it was as if she was looking right at me. As I walked past her, I heard that strained whisper again, and turning back, I discovered that, even though I had moved, she was still looking right into my soul. That was when it dawned on me. This was no statue. This was a woman trapped within that golden prison. Naturally, I told the others, but when I could not reproduce the results of my experiment, they would not believe me. But from that moment on, I knew the full horror of this place. Immobilized within these statues are living human beings. It was that day, my love, that my heart broke. To be here. beloved Galatea, after I learned the terrible truth about the golden statues, I wandered the city as if in a nightmare. What must life be like for these poor souls, entombed in gold, but kept alive somehow? Trapped in their own personal Tartarus, consigned to eternal torment, too horrific for any sane mind to comprehend. I tried to offer them what small mercies I could. I began to talk to them, to keep them happy. I'd imagine backstories for them, give them names, and tell them of the world. Histories and stories I learned as a child. As the others became more concerned by my childhood, I sought solitude from them, preferring the company of my tormented children. Discovering a way into the abandoned palace, I began to spend my days walking its halls and sharing with its occupants ancient tales, my mind turning to those of Apollo and Daphne, Perseus and Medusa, and Pygmalion and Galatea. Pygmalion, the sculptor who fell in love with a beautiful statue, and who, praying to Aphrodite for aid, discovered that his beloved Galatea had come to life. It was then that I heard you whisper to me, Galatea. Forgive me. I know that is not your real name, just one I have borrowed from a story. But when I turned to look at you, I saw the most exquisitely beautiful woman I have ever known. Your face, forever frozen in a look of haunting sadness. Our meeting gave me new purpose, to free you from your golden prison, so that I might one day hear you speak, not just whisper, true name to you. So I gathered tools for the long and difficult task ahead, barred the doors to this place, and set to work. Beloved Galatea, my attempts at freeing these souls from their golden prisons have not been going to plan. My first charge was a Greek woman who I called Iodame after the Athenian turned to stone by Medusa. Drilling through the gold that encased her, I was vindicated by the discovery that beneath half an inch of gold, which is so rigid it must be some kind of alloy, was living flesh. Unfortunately, this golden alloy seems to have fused with her skin, so removing it exposed the sinew and muscle beneath and appeared to cause her great pain. At first, I braced myself, expecting that inflicting such pain would break the golden rule, and yet, somehow, it did not. It seems whichever god is responsible for imprisoning these poor souls does not care about their suffering at all. They are forsaken. Undeterred, I pressed on, working late into the night, attempting to remove the golden layer that encased her as delicately as I could. Eventually, I was able to free most of her body, but when I released her from her restraints, her first act was to lunge for her throat, clawing with all of her strength in those sharp metal talons. This was my thanks for trying to save her. Whatever possessed Iodame to attack, she was clearly not a suitable subject for my experiments, and I was forced to lock her inside an isolated room of the palace and bar the door. As I continued working on others, I could hear her flailing and launching herself at the other side endlessly. Regrettably, my other experiments bore similar results, and after relocating a few times, Most of the palace is now too dangerous to work in. Still, as much as my heart aches to know that you're suffering, I cannot risk attempting to ungild you yet. Not until I have perfected a method that will bring you back to me, whole in both mind and body, and ensuring your humanity is preserved. I promise you this. One day we will be together, even if I have to free every last statue in this god's forsaken place. And you must be the wretched snake who broke into my palace and disturbed my experiment. Look at what you made me do to her. This never would have happened if you're going to pay for that. And do you think I care about that? I don't care. You think you can bring me down with your little wooden arrows before I jam this blade? What? How? That's impossible. Liar. Really? I'm not sure I believe you. I imagine it would help Lucretia, but if you're lying to me, I'll break the golden rule. You did it. You took away her pain. I swear I will never. I'll stay here to keep her company. But these poor souls. What I fear, the only one capable of releasing them. In any case, I must. Here's the key I promised you. It opens a chest in the shrine of a. Now, please leave. The door here leads out onto the palace balcony. You should be able to make your way to... Go. And...
Hello there, partner. I'm glad you're here. You see, my plan was to give you a little fry. You know, like two friends joke, but when I opened it... Partner, there's no need... Yeah, well, I don't have to listen to this. Get lost. Don't even talk to me. Proper murder!
Sorry, I'm still a bit out of it. Was there something you wanted? All right.
Salve, Dooley. How are you doing today?
I'm sad. Am I going to die?
I don't think so, my friend. It's election day today. Perhaps our new magistrate will be kinder than Sentius and let you out.
I hope so. Galerius, what happens when you die?
You're not going to die anytime soon, Dooley.
My mother told me, when you die, a ferryman helps you cross a river, and your spirit lives on in the underworld. Is that true?
Well,
But if I die and go to Tartarus, because they say I've been bad.
I'm not going to let that happen to you, Dooley. I promise.
Kappa merda!
I'll visit you again soon, alright?
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Salve, friend. My... Oh. Yulia? Oh no. Alright, let me see. I'll go.
Greetings and salutations.
Whatever's in that great temple up there on the bluff.
Fabia, listen.
There's a troublemaker coming into the city.
I know, and I'll take care of him. Just go and hide, but not in the empty shrine.
Wait, how did you know I was headed in there?
No time to explain. Go!
All right, I'll be in my bakery.
Hello there, friend. May I say?
Did you know I was headed in there?
Well, I'll take your word.
All right, I'll be in my bakery.
Hey, what the...
Thank you, Galerius.